When it comes to retirement, there is no one-size-fits-all answer, and that's exactly why certified financial planner and founder of Right Path Wealth Management, Jimmy Lynn, is here. Each week, he is breaking down your big retirement questions and giving you straightforward guidance to help you move forward with confidence. Jimmy, it is always great to be with you. How you doing today?
Casey, I'm doing great. This is my favorite part of the week, so I am ready to go.
Good. It's mine too. And we've got a great lineup of topics for us to chat about today. But before we get into it, if you're listening and you've been wondering whether your retirement plan is really working for you, here's your chance to find out. Jimmy and his team at Right Path Wealth Management are offering a complimentary retirement consultation to our first 5 callers today. This is an offer exclusively for our radio listeners, and I want to emphasize that there is no obligation attached to this. This is just a conversation and a chance for you to get your questions answered. But our space is limited, so go ahead, give us a call, claim your spot now. 702-744-8344 is how you reach us. Again, for you, that number, 702-744-8344, or you can always head to rightpathwm.com and you can get connected with us that way. So, Jimmy, I want to jump right in. You probably remember during the last presidential campaign, Donald Trump made a pretty bold promise to put an end to taxes on Social Security benefits, and a lot of retirees were feeling hopeful. Well, fast forward to now, we've got the recently passed big, beautiful bill in front of us. And while it makes some waves, it didn't quite eliminate those taxes like many were expecting. So, Jimmy, can you break it down for us? What did this bill actually do when it comes to Social Security and taxes?
Yeah, that campaign promise definitely made some waves and could have won an election. So it was definitely something that was smart to try to offer to especially retirees who are such a large part of the voting bloc. And it kind of did deliver on that promise in a sense. I mean, it is a workaround, so they didn't actually get specifically Social Security to be non-taxable. But for many retirees, it essentially is going to be not taxable just because what they did, and, you know, it's Washington, right? So they couldn't get the exact bill they wanted to, but there's always going to be some type of compromise. And the compromise here was increasing the standard deduction for people over the age or 65 or older. So just kind of for all the listeners out there, most of the people, I would say a large portion of taxpayers right now, they're utilizing that standard deduction that was implemented during the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was during Trump's first term. For most married couples, they can deduct about $30,000 of their salaries before they start paying taxes, which is huge. It almost doubled that during that first administration. But for retirees that were over 65, they actually each, a married couple, they'd get $1,500 each of additional deductions. So you're talking about $33,000 of deductions for people over the age of 65 right off the bat before paying any taxes. Well, this bill took it a step further, but because in addition to all of that, you know, say $33,000 of deductions, let's say, they're putting in another $12,000 of deductions for married couples, or $6,000 per person of additional deductions. And what that's essentially doing is saying that for a married couple, about $48,000 of income can come in before they pay any taxes. What the purpose of that is to capture some of that tax that you're going to be paying on Social Security. So you're still getting taxed on your Social Security, but then it's getting deducted. The thing that's important, Casey, for people to understand is this does expire at the end of 2028. So It's one of those things where you get the benefit for the next few years, but, you know, a new administration could come in, it expires, they're going to have to decide if they're going to extend it. The good thing about it is that it does give us an additional window for tax strategizing. You know, if people can start shifting some of their income from, you know, some of these retirement accounts that are going to get taxed and push it into a level where they might be able to get a tax deduction on it or just pay a lower amount of tax, we now have an opportunity because of this bill.
Yeah, if you are not sure how these changes, or any changes for that matter that could be coming down the line, might impact your retirement income, let's talk about it. We want to help you build a strategy that's going to keep more of your money in your pocket at the end of the day, not in Uncle Sam's. That is the goal here. So be one of our first 5 callers. We will get you on Jimmy's calendar for a complimentary retirement consultation, a no obligation conversation where you can get your questions answered. 702-744-8344 is the number to dial. That number again, 702-744-8344, or you can visit us online anytime at rightpathwm.com. So, Jimmy, Morningstar took a look at where people are investing inside their 401ks and found that last year, $4 trillion were in target date funds. That is a record. The idea is to pick the fund with the year near your retirement date. And according to Carrie Hannon of Yahoo Finance, the fund does the rest. Take a listen.
But what I love about these and why they're so great for many investors is like when the markets go jangly, we don't sit there and worry because these are kind of balancing, diversifying your investments in a way that so you don't have to be panicking and you know that they're going to rebalance in order to keep you focused on what the goal is.
So that sounds great, but is that how it really works, Jimmy?
You know, the target date fund, it sounds good, and it could be valuable for some people that are kind of going towards retirement. I'm not a big fan of it because I think it's almost like a scapegoat for the industry, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like, I don't know if you've seen that. I think it's a Staples commercial where they got that big red easy button. You just press the button, right? And that's essentially what we're doing here. We're kind of, just basically creating that easy button. We're saying, okay, you're a certain age, and based on that age and when you want to retire, we say that you should be, 40% stocks and 60% bonds. And that's it. That's the planning. So it's almost like a one size fits all based on your age and when you want to retire. And I think that for the vast majority of retirees, you've worked so hard, 20, 30, 40 years, diligently saving for retirement, waiting for this time when you could start doing all the fun things that you want to do. You deserve a customized plan that fits your specific situation, right? Because you could have 2 retirees, both age 65, maybe 2 married couples that are neighbors, and they both have $1 million. Their goals are going to be vastly different. Their risk tolerance is going to be vastly different. So what they want to do as far as their experiences. So you need to create plans that fit their specific situation, because if you have a rigid plan like this, it doesn't account for, market volatility. Are you going to be able to be nimble enough, when the market turns on you? When you're in these target date plans, you have to unwind that. So you really need a customized plan that really takes into account what your specific goals are, what different income streams you've created for yourself in order to live out your retirement with joy and dignity. And I just don't see, for retirees that have worked so hard, to just be put into this cookie cutter plan. It doesn't seem nimble enough. It doesn't seem customized enough. And I really encourage people to, really come in and meet with us, because we will take what you've earned and actually make a plan that makes sense for you, and not just one that, your whole neighborhood's going to have, right? It's got to be customized to your situation. And that's why I'm not necessarily a huge fan for the target date funds for the majority of people that I work with.
Got it. Well, if you are relying on a target date fund to do all the heavy lifting in your retirement plan, it may be time for a second look. So let's let Jimmy and the team at Right Path Wealth Management be that second set of eyes for you. They can help you review your 401k strategy to make sure that it's aligned with your actual goals, not just your retirement date. So dial 702-744-8344 now, and let's get you scheduled for your complimentary retirement review. That number again for you, 702-744-8344, or we are online at rightpathwm.com. Now, you know this, Jimmy, but we spend so much time talking about saving for retirement, the 401ks, the IRAs, the income plan, but what about how you're going to spend all that time that you'll have once work is no longer a part of your routine? A new survey from Lincoln Financial found that while 77% of folks in their 50s and 60s say they're excited to finally pursue hobbies and passions that they've never had the time for, only 38% have actually planned for what that's going to look like. So let me ask you this. Is that something that you talk through with your clients, Jimmy, before they retire? Do you find that maybe a lot of people don't even think about it until you bring it up with them?
Yeah, that's critical, Case. And we've talked about this in the past, right? It's not only what you're retiring from, which who doesn't want to get away from those meetings that you're forced to be in that you have no involvement in, right? And having to show up at a certain time, take that 15-minute break or your 1-hour lunch break. That's where people want to retire from, and that's important. But what's critically more important is what are you retiring to? And you need to know that once you stop having to show up to your 9 to 5, you're going to have plenty of time on your hands. And you need to make sure that you have something that kind of fulfills that time and kind of still creates that identity. Because for most of us, my identity is a financial planner, right? Your identity could be a radio host. At some point in the future, that identity is going to go away, and you got to fill it with something else to really provide value for yourself and kind of get you out of bed every morning. So we definitely go through that process with our clients of making them understand, like, let's make sure that we're retiring to something and find that thing. And it could be a hobby that you want to take up. It could be just, look, Jimmy, I want to travel the world. Whatever it is, I mean, you've earned it. You deserve it. Let's plan that out. But in order for anybody to do that, I always say, like, people want to go do these fun things, but they don't always have the confidence to do that. And confidence comes from having a plan. That's what my job is, right? We sit down, we look at all your resources, we figure out what your goals are and see how we can achieve that. And oftentimes we can, through planning, we can get them to or very close to what that retirement dream is. And once we do our job, then it's their job to figure out how they want to spend their money, how they want to enjoy the retirement. And so a lot of that's on them, but we help them along that journey. But the big pieces of that is they can't confidently figure out what they want to do until they have a plan. And so that's our job, is to help them with that plan so they have confidence.
You want a retirement plan that is not only going to cover your income needs, but also is going to help you plan for what your life is going to look like in retirement. And that's the bread and butter for Jimmy and Right Path Wealth Management. Remember, our first 5 callers today will get a complimentary retirement review. This is a no obligation, easy conversation, and a chance for you to look at the big picture with a professional and get those important questions answered. The number to reach us to secure your spot is 702-744-8344. One more time, write this down, 702-744-8344, or you can visit us at rightpathwm.com. Thank you so much for joining us today on Right Path to Retirement Radio. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place, with more great retirement insight from certified financial planner Jimmy Lynn. Take care.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Right Path Wealth Management. Right Path Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Right Path Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Any reference to the protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. This radio podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decision, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Right Path Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Right Path Wealth Management.
Market Guard is a firm that provides investment signals as well as portfolio allocation recommendations, wide variety of model portfolios. Market Guard does not offer advice or enter into fiduciary relationships.